Hi, I'm Brock Davignon, phone voter television network in 1992. Today in 2017, it's the interactive freedomtvnetworks.com. Satellite television, internet protocol TV, interactive via smartphones, and any other way you can talk back to the mass media. In 1992, we did some interesting things with 4 presidential candidates. It invited 64 to participate. That was all that was running that year in a debate tournament, which had some interesting consequences that the Democrats and Republicans formed their own commission. And out of that, we gave them a good scare with lots of dark horses. Stuck a satellite uplink truck behind an unknown Arkansas governor. Jerry Brown with an 800 number to take only small contributions, basically thin cats, no fat cats. And Pat Buchanan wanted to challenge President Bush, the sitting president just won a war, that he ought to use a line item veto to whittle down the budget. And then there was this cranky accountant named Ross Perot. And his 2 media mavens faxed us back and forth daily with our 700 number telepoll. And one day, I was discussing with them the idea that we could offer 2 phone votes to the owners of America's capital calling cards with our service, 1 moral and 1 legal, and something to do with force of law, military, political would be the other phone vote. The idea was that, take an issue. We discussed it. I said, how about abortion? The moral question would be, would you personally favor an abortion in your own family, yes or no? Then the second phone vote would be, would you use force of law to penalize a woman or a doctor for conducting one, yes or no? Interestingly, we kicked that out that week. Nationwide headlines went up. Congress critters were zeroed in by the caller's phone number and zip code, and so their Congress critter got a earful of tallies from us. And what was fascinating was that 74% of Americans said no, they would not personally do one. 77 said they would not do it, and 74% said they would not use force of law. And there was a 3% differential. I wasn't too concerned about the other people that seemed to be for it, but I was curious why people voted one way and not the other. Being a phone voter TV network, I had their phone numbers, so I gave them a call. And I asked this one fellow why, and he says, well, I didn't like any of your choices that you're offering me as a phone voter. They're all punitive. We as humans like to react to incentives or being bribed. And I said, well, what have you got in mind? And he says, well, how about offering a scared young woman a pleasant Hawaiian vacation instead of, trying to force a syringe in her arm for 9 months or something. And he says people could put their money where their mouth is with the contribution phone line. Maybe for prenatal care or postnatal care if they're so inclined. And if the lady keeps the baby or decides to adopt it out, that's another issue. But she would at least bring it to term for that reward. And I thought, well, okay. So the next day, we kicked out that as a choice, and instantly 20% of America voted for this more positive alternative. It was a new idea. 20% acceptance suddenly is quite an amazing achievement. Out of this, we learned that Americans aren't so much into forcing things, and having 2 phone votes, 1 moral, 1 legal, unconfuses issues as to whether you're really for or against something in the context of a law. No, maybe you're just against it or for it because you think it's right or wrong. And involving force is a completely different issue. And in most cases, 3 out of 4 Americans will not use force to enforce their opinion on someone else. This grand lesson allows us to also have none of the above as an option. We have panelists A, B, C, and D. Maybe they're all clowns, and the phone voter in the audience can say, try something else. We have less emphasis on gripes. There's plenty of that. going around. But if you have a half-baked idea and somebody else can improve it slightly to a three-quarter baked idea and finally to a full-baked idea, the audience can participate in what's actually being phone voted on, can participate on the hosts themselves, the opinion molders. There might be, say, 5 there or 1. That's selected by the audience for a particular issue. Maybe an expert of a certain kind, and they know the anchor person ordinarily is dumb as a loon on a particular issue. So you get a moderator that can intelligently find the questions from the audience that are best and provide a solution. Now, Ross Perot went up 2% per day for about 3 weeks to where he was 38%, and he realized he better cut bait or fish for the presidency. In that context, one of the strangest things is that all of our dark horses were doing the same thing, either by satellite TV, the telepolls, or various things that we did, and we gave Americans 3 weeks to, in some cases, cumulatively tally up. But 25% of America works at night, and they can have a phone vote in the middle of the night on a looped tape while someone's asleep. That normally might be campaigning or has a cause marketing effort or a charity, but people can participate and give their opinion and shape the direction of the debate. So that's what interactive television is all about. FreedomTVNetworks.com is where you can find out more about 11 television networks ramping up, 104 shows each. You want to be a producer, director, sponsor? Say hello. Thanks.